But seriously, folks, is the 16th episode of the first season of Full House, directed by Joel Swick, and this has got a wonderful message about not giving up on your dreams. It starts off fabulously with Jesse teaching DJ the guitar while Kimmy is on the keyboard. I love Kimmy. We're slowly starting to get more of Andrea Barber in the show, and I'm really pleased that that kind of increases as the show goes on. And she gave a great performance of Venus. DJ, not so much, but it was very entertaining to watch. And I love the fact they were wearing matching outfits. It just made it really entertaining. And it got off to a really good start, and the rest of it was great as well. Joey's got a chance to perform at this nightclub, and it's going well until they realise Phyllis Diller is in the audience, and Phyllis Diller is invited up on stage, and she's on stage for over an hour. And by the time she's done, nobody wants to listen to Joey. I didn't know who Phyllis Diller was, so I'm really pleased that this episode has introduced me to her work because it's made me quite keen to explore her more. I love stand-up comedy, so I'm always keen to discover new comedians or new to me comedians. And it was very well written. The comedy sketches are very entertaining. I think it's always interesting when TV shows write stand-up comedy because on the one hand it has to be funny, but at the same time, if it's not funny, it's not necessarily the fault of the writing, but the fault of the character delivering the lines. But I did find it was very funny, really engaging, a little cheesy, but it worked very well. And Joey decided it was his one chance. It didn't go to plan. He's going to give up, and he dresses differently. He dresses very smartly. His hair is different, and he decides to become a businessman and goes on all of these job interviews. But he keeps finding things wrong with all of the jobs, and it's so clear that he doesn't want to be a businessman. He wants to follow his dreams of being a comedian, but it's difficult. It's a hard anything in the arts is impossibly difficult to get into. And it's unclear whether he's ever going to go back to living that dream or if he's just resigned himself to giving up. And obviously Danny and Jesse are not wanting him to give up, but whether or not they're able to convince him, I won't say. But the message is very clear. Don't give up on your dreams. And I like that that came back around to DJ. DJ wanted to give up on the guitar because she wasn't good at it. And people encouraged her to keep at it. And I think it's a message that most of us can do well to remember, especially if you're trying to get into the arts. But any career, most of them are difficult. And there are challenges and roadblocks. But don't give up because what's the point? You know, having dreams is what keeps most of us going. And we see this with Joey, that he starts to just become not himself. And I think the episode did a really great way of getting that message across with comedy. It remained funny, but it was also, I think, really moving as well. One of my favourite scenes in the entire thing is very brief, but it's when Jesse and Danny are discussing daycares for Michelle, and they talk about the one that had aerobics classes or something for children, and they put the little sweatband on Michelle, and they work out around her, and Michelle just stares at Jesse, and it's lovely. It's so sweet. Being a big Mary Kate and Ashley fan, I just found it to be rather adorable. Really great episode, really strong messages, really entertaining. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Great costumes, particularly with Kimmy and DJ, but also with Michelle and her little sweatband. And Joy as well. I love that he was wearing, I think he wore fruit at one point. Dave Coulier has just the most amazing outfits in Full House, and I think he was wearing a shirt with fruit on it, if I'm not mistaken. It was just so great. Really loved the costumes in this. Definitely, as is usually the case, a really solid episode, but seriously, folks, is one I really enjoyed.